Twitter, the Saints are in salary cap hell. They're gonna be a one-season wonder. Ain't nobody worrying about the Saints in 2018. They're a one-season wonder. Salary cap hell. Hell. You know, like with Satan? You know, like what we go through every year as Falcons fans? They're in salary cap hell. So much for the Super Bowl, chopper style on that. Whew. Yeah, I know. They still swept us this year and won the division. But guess what? Now look, I know I said this last year, but according to NFL Twitter, the Saints are really in salary cap hell this year. But that's it. Their window closed. They are not going to be able to sign or re-sign. They're actually probably going to have to cut a lot of people. They might have to cut Drew Brees, actually, I'm hearing. According to NFL Twitter, yeah. They are done. They are done. Salary cap hell. The future is bright for us, and the Saints have nowhere to go but down. Yes. Thank you, by the way, referees. Thank you. Wow, y'all say this. Woo. Hell would have been pretty bad, huh? I don't. I just don't understand NFL Twitter. I don't care that they just lost to Kirk Cousins in the playoffs. We're on the couch. At least they were still playing. NFL Twitter told us that they were going to be in real salary cap hell last offseason, and they went and signed Teddy Bridgewater. They signed Latavius Murray and Jared Cook. What the hell? This is their third straight year winning the division. We're on the couch again. What the hell? Oh, wait, look at this. This capologist from Utah said that the Saints are actually for real in salary cap hell coming into this offseason. You know, yeah, it does still suck that the Buccaneers won the Super Bowl, but at least it wasn't the Saints. And like I said, their reckoning finally came. They lost Drew Brees. They lost their whole team damn near, huh? They finally hit the salary cap hell. Finally. Felt like it took forever. What's this? Adam Schefter is reporting that the New Orleans Saints have just re-signed Marshawn Lattimore.
Well, don't worry, man. They're really going to be in salary cap hell in 2022.
Shut the hell up. I'm tired of hearing that. They really in salary cap hell. They just re-signed Marshawn Lattimore. They just re-signed Marshawn Lattimore. We can't even keep Julio Jones, and they just re-signed Marshawn Lattimore. And we ain't about to continue managing the child squad. And he can't even keep Julio Jones, but they just re-signed Marshawn Lattimore. They even have rent check. Every damn year, NFL Twitter tells me that the Saints are in salary cap hell. So how the hell are they re-signing all these players? NFL Twitter, when are they going to be in salary cap hell? God damn it! Shoot, I'm tripping. Let me go put up some Minnesota Miracle pictures. That'll show them. That'll show Saints Twitter. Yeah, they might sweep us again, but send tweet. Enjoy that, Saints fans.
That is what you would call an evergreen skit because, as you guys know, every time free agency happens, there's always one main course of topics from all the people who do not live in the Saints bubble. So they always want to know, well, what the hell are the Saints doing with their salary cap, right? And I don't know if you guys are frequent users of Twitter, but the main culprit this year is none other than Nick Wright. Nick Wright of Fox Sports 1 fame, Nick Wright of First Things First fame, Nick Wright, who I actually like, and I think he's a pretty good analyst. But I also get that when you're on TV, you got to play a character and you got to get engagement because we all know Fox Sports 1 is one of the keen networks of wanting their personalities to be Skip Bayless like, right? Like they want engagement. They don't give a shit if the analysis is wrong. They don't give a shit if the analysis is valid. They want people engaging with them. And Nick Wright, for as smart as he is, has taken on that mantle of being another Skip Bayless-like person sometimes when it comes to his gimmicks or whatnot, or his character. And he has been riding the Saints hard about the salary cap. And so one of the things he tweeted today was, because I'm sure you guys have been following the news, we lost a lot of players today, including David Onyemata, Marcus Davenport, and Shy Tuttle. And Nick Wright used that as a way to kind of take a victory lap on the Saints and say, you see, this is why the Saints are bad with the salary cap and why salary cap hell is real and why the Saints are the worst franchise in the NFL when it comes to managing the salary cap is because they're losing players. Now, two things. One, it's kind of unique to take a victory lap over the loss of Marcus Davenport, Shy Tuttle, and David Onyemata. You know, they had a whopping 7.5 sacks between all three of them. That's a very funny thing to take a victory lap over. But two, it's funny because it's like whenever the Saints lose a player in free agency, the people who hate how the Saints do the salary cap take victory laps. I mentioned about how it's their proof that salary cap hell is real, right? And it's like, okay, Are we the only team? Maybe y'all let me know if I'm wrong in the comments. Are the Saints the only team that loses players in free agency because of the cap? I could have sworn 31 other teams, no matter how they manage the cap, lose players too, right? Like I saw today, the Bengals lost their 2 safeties. I saw the Eagles lost a huge defensive lineman. I saw the Bills lost one of their best linebackers. Are they in salary cap hell? Like, are they mismanaging the salary cap too? Help me let this, make sense, guys, because I'm a little confused why when the Saints lose a player is salary cap hell and they're the worst team when it comes to salary cap. When all 31 teams lose players every free agency, it's going to happen. You can't pay everybody. The NFL doesn't want players. The NFL doesn't want teams to keep every player because they encourage parity. So there's no way you can keep all of your players every year, no matter how you manage the salary cap. There's one and one ways to skin a cat in the NFL, and there's no tried and true way on how to manage a salary cap. You can do it like the Saints do it. You can do it like the Falcons do it. You can do it like however any team wants to do it, right? There's no right or wrong way. If there was a true and tried way how to win a Super Bowl, I'm sure every team would be reading that book, but there was no tried and true way. So I don't get why people get so up in arms about the Saints salary cap. What is a valid argument is that you can say the Saints should not be doing our typical salary cap maneuvering right now because the Saints aren't in a position to try to win now. And a lot of people feel that way, and that's fine. Because me personally, I also am not the biggest believer. I'm sure you guys know that, right? Breaking news. I'm not the biggest believer in Dennis Allen. I am a believer in Derek Carr. I'm not a believer in Dennis Allen. So it's like, okay, is it worth kicking the can down the road when it comes to the salary cap when you don't have faith in your head coach? Obviously, Mickey Loomis does have faith in Dennis Allen that he's willing to continue to do the salary cap magician work and whatnot. But that's a valid argument. But to be mad at the Saints for always doing the manipulation of the salary cap numbers, it's old, guys. I'm not talking to you guys in the chat. I'm talking to all the national media who does not follow the Saints. Like, it's old. And it's like they get mad because Mickey Loomis every year is trying to win. Like, that's a bad thing. Like, how dare you try to win? What the hell are we doing if we're not trying to win, right? Like, it's like some of these media pundits and draft and cap nerds get a hard on with the fact that, if your team isn't a tried and true Super Bowl contender, then you should be tanking. Well, Mickey Loomis does not subscribe to that thought process, and I respect it. I may not agree with it all the time, but he does not subscribe to that thought process. He's like, every year I am going to compete until I know for a fact that my team is just like completely wiped away of talent. And we do have talent. I don't think our talent is as good as the Saints fans hype it up to be, but we do have talent. And so Mickey Loomis is like, well, as long as I have people like Marshawn Lattimore, Cam Jordan, Alvin Kamara, now we have Derek Carr, Ryan Ramczyk, players like that. He's like, I'm going to compete. I'm going to try to compete. I'm not going to tank when I still got good players on the team. But the media analysts will make it seem like, since you guys aren't close to winning the Super Bowl, and if, y'all peak is winning one playoff game, then you guys should be tanking. And that's stupid. Like, what kind of fan wants to live in misery if their team constantly tanking if they're not all in? Like, I appreciate the fact that Mickey Loomis and the Saints always go all in on trying to win. I respect it. I may not agree with the way they always go about it. I may not agree with their vision right now. I do not agree with Dennis Allen and Pete Carmichael being the two people to try to take us to the Super Bowl or to make us compete. But I appreciate Mickey Loomis for always trying to go for it. So to all the cap nerds, to all the draft nerds, to all the national media pundits who don't follow the Saints except from afar, one, stick to your goddamn Cowboys and Packers topics every season. Don't worry about what we're doing over here. We good over here. And two, kiss my ass. That's just my first thing. I got a few dogs I want to get out today. This ain't gonna be a long show. I just want to recap the first day of the salary cap. And thank you, Jerry, for the microphone comment. This is a gift from my wife. Second of all, guys, so y'all see the shirt, right? Y'all see the shirt. The Falcons suck. Always and forever, the Falcons suck. And let me tell you why the Falcons are pissing me off. And I could go very, very much on a huge rant on this. I just find it very funny that their fans always call the Saints the little brother, which makes no sense whatsoever because we actually now even have the serious lead over them in the all-time series. But that's another topic. They always call, the Falcons fans, they're one of the most delusional, idiotic, dumb fan bases of all time. They always call the Saints little brother. They always say we're overrated, yada, yada, yada. I mean, goddamn, they lost to Dennis Allen twice last year. They're not one franchise to talk, but they always talk trash to us. And it's kind of funny how on the first day of free agency, it seems like the Falcons' game plan was sign every free agent Saint available, right? Like, goddamn, if you look at the Falcons roster right now, it's going to look like all the Saints backups. What are they trying to achieve? Are they trying to be the Saints Junior? I thought we were the little brother. I thought we were trying to catch up to them, according to Falcons fans, right? So why are they signing all of our free agent players? So y'all saw the news. They signed David Onyemata and they signed Kaden Ellis. David Onyemata, I'm really not that mad about losing because honestly, he kind of seems like he is starting to go on the downsides of his career. I don't mean to sound mean, but after he got caught with the PEDs, and now that he obviously cannot be on the PEDs anymore, his performance level went way down. So I'm not trying to correlate that, but I am just saying. And they also, about 30 minutes ago, signed Kaden Ellis. And I'm going to be honest with you, all jokes aside, the Kaden Ellis signing from the Falcons really sucks. Like, I think Kaden Ellis has a good future, and I am very, very disappointed that he is now going to be wearing black and red. I think he can do some good things as a starter now, and he's probably going to be a good signing for the Falcons. But all that to say, this is how fanaticism works crazy because, like, literally 30 minutes ago, I was like, hey, man, I hope that, now that we got Derek Carr, the only player that I would really, really hope that we keep is Kaden Ellis because I think he has a bright future. But the second I saw the notification that he signed with the Falcons, I was like, he's really not that special. I mean, we could find another Kaden Ellis in the draft, right? So that just shows you how crazy fanaticism is. I do think that Kaden Ellis is going to be a solid to good player for the Falcons. I just find it extremely funny, though, that the Falcons are signing all of our free agent players. And I guess, if you can't beat them, join them, right? Or what did it say? Imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. The Falcons are like, well, shit, we can't win against the Saints, so we might as well just sign all the Saints players and try to win that way. So I would dare these stupid ass Falcons fans to come into our mentions, come into our YouTube comments, come into our Instagram posts, our Facebook posts, our text messages, whatever, and talk trash to the Saints when y'all are trying to obviously beat the Saints. Y'all hired our general manager. Y'all signing all of our former players. Y'all signing our defensive coordinator to be y'all defensive coordinator. But goddamn, just put on black and gold if y'all want to be the Saints that bad. Shit. Boy, that franchise pisses me off. Yes, Cam Jordan did quote tweet me, and I'll get to that in a little bit. I love Cam Jordan, man. Saints legend. Retire his jersey today. I do not care. I love me some Cam Jordan. All right. Now, we're not going to just, give all the love to the Falcons, right? There was another NFC South team who signed a former player of ours, and that was the Carolina Panthers. And technically they signed two former Saints players, but one was now technically a Cincinnati Bengal. But the Panthers signed Shy Tuttle. Y'all know Shy Tuttle, right? He wasn't like the greatest player of all time, but he did do the greatest play of all time when he stiffed on Matt Ryan into retirement. Damn near, Matt Ryan was never the same after that. And he signed Von Bell. So another thing, again, it's like very funny how these NFC South fans always talk trash about the Saints, yet whenever our players become free agents, their teams go scrambling trying to catch our players and try to sign them, right? We must be doing something right, Carolina Panthers. We must be doing something right, Atlanta Falcons fans, if that your teams are signing our players to make your team better. But unfortunately, I do think Carolina is building a pretty solid team. I mean, I do think that they built a good coaching staff. I think that some of the free agents they're signing, including Von Bell, former Saints safety, former Bengals safety, now going with them. It seems like they are building quite a squad. I think their defense is going to be real legit. Now, here's the question with the Carolina Panthers. I'm sure you guys saw the breaking news over the weekend. They traded for the number 1 overall pick. And I was actually not against my free will, I guess, but it was. I was defending because a lot of people were like, oh, Carolina got robbed. They gave up way too much for the number 1 pick, and the Chicago Bears fleeced them. And I disagree with that. I say, one, you can't really judge a draft trade until like 3 or 4 years after the fact because you got to see who the players that are drafted with those draft picks and see what their careers turn out to be, right? But 2, I say, if the Panthers had a quarterback in mind that they feel like it's going to be the franchise, and if that quarterback even has a Cam Newton-like career, right? I know Cam Newton didn't have the greatest career of all time, but he had like those 5 to 6, 7 years where he was a top-of-the-line quarterback. If the Panthers find a quarterback like that in the draft, it doesn't matter what they gave up because quarterback is the most valuable position in the league. And if the Panthers found a quarterback that they feel like it's going to be the man and like a legitimate threat at quarterback, then who gives a shit what they gave up? Because the first thing you ever need to build a contending team is a good quarterback. So I was defending the Carolina Panthers. Now I'm seeing a lot of reports, and I'm trying to take everything with a grain of salt because we are in that phase of the free agency and the offseason where everything that comes out of these reporters' mouth, you kind of got to take it with a grain of salt unless it's like an actual confirmation of a signing, because teams are going to put out a lot of smoke screens and bullshit to try to throw other teams off, just to not give away their hand for the draft. So I'm seeing, reports saying, oh, Carolina likes C.J. Stroud, but they really like Bryce Young, but they really like Anthony Richardson, but they really don't know who they want. They just want to have the number one pick so they can have the power to maybe trade down and draft and grab some more draft picks. I would imagine, guys, that Carolina traded for the number one pick because they know who they want with the number one pick, and they know what quarterback they want. If they don't, then they're stupid as hell, and I feel dumb for trying to defend them. But I imagine that deep down, they know who they want with the quarterback pick, and that they're going to draft that quarterback with the number one pick. And now, again, y'all, fanaticism is a funny thing. Whoever they draft, we got to hope is a bust, right? Like, I got nothing against Bryce Young. I got nothing against C.J. Stroud. I got nothing against Anthony Richardson. But they're going to be wearing Carolina Panthers. One of them is going to be wearing Carolina Navy and blue. Carolina Tar Heel blue. And whoever they pick, I have to be a hater. Being a hater is not for the meek. But when you're a sports fan, you got to be a hater. I got to be a hater to anybody in a Falcons uniform, in a Bucks uniform, in a Carolina uniform. So if the Packers take C.J. Stroud, if they take Bryce Young, if they take Anthony Richardson, I will be that guy's biggest hater. Nothing personal, but the game is the game. And we all know this shit more than the game. So whoever the Panthers take with the number one pick, let's hope, guys. Let's get some goodwill. I mean, we should be able to pray it now because we got like three of the strongest prayer warriors in NFL history on our team now with Demario Davis, Derek Carr, and Jameis Winston. We're on that in a second. Let's pray that whoever Carolina takes with the number one pick is a bust. I don't even say it's a bust because I don't want that player to have a bad career, but let's just hope that he kind of flames out and then maybe goes to a second team and has a good career that's not an NFC South team. We'll see. Carolina, though, is making some moves, and we have to keep our eye on Carolina. I know everybody's saying that the Saints are the clear-cut favorite in the NFC South right now, and I would still say that we are, but, these other NFC South teams are making some sneaky moves that we can't just act like, especially with Dennis Allen as our head coach, that we're just going to walk on water in the NFC South this year and everything's going to be hokey-dory. I don't know about that. So I just mentioned we have three of the strongest prayer warriors, right? We all know we got Derek Carr. We all know about Demario Davis, Saints legend, number one player in the Saints 2022 season. If you don't believe me, check out St. John Butler's video on his YouTube channel. And Jameis Winston. And I know a lot of you guys are very, very excited about that. Yes, folks, you guys probably saw the news in the past hour. Jameis Winston is re-signing with the New Orleans Saints because he says he would rather be a backup in black and gold than to go anywhere else. And we appreciate the hell out of you, Jameis Winston. No, I don't know. Jameis Winston, again, guys, Jameis Winston has always seemed to have had a stronger fan base that believed in him more than the actual NFL front offices, because if he had a chance to be a starter somewhere or get some good money, he would have left us. So obviously his market wasn't as good as, the fans hyped him up as a player to be, that he said, I would rather come back to the Saints, make $8 million, which is good backup money, and stay another year, even though, we probably don't deserve James after how we treated him last year. I'm not going to act like how we treated him was great. I mean, he probably deserved a shot at having his starting job back last year, but it just goes to show you how much the league doesn't think highly of Jameis, that he didn't have a strong enough market that his best option was to stay with the Saints for $8 million and be our backup, which I love personally as a fan because I think James is an awesome, awesome guy. I really wanted him to be that guy. Like, I wanted him to be successful. I wanted him to be our quarterback of the future. But unfortunately, because of, some things was his fault, like just his decision making sometimes can be very questionable. But some things wasn't his fault. Like his body was starting to break down, that it just never did work out for him as a starter. And now, personally, I do think that his career trajectory going forward is going to be as a prominent backup that, maybe every blue moon he'll get a chance to start because of an injury or something. But I never see a team in the NFL giving Jameis Winston the keys as the starter again, unless it is because of an injury. I hope I'm wrong. Again, I'm cheering for Jameis to succeed wherever he winds up, and I am very happy that he is going to be with the Saints this year as a backup. He is, in my opinion, now probably the best backup quarterback in the NFL, I would think, right? He's got to be a top 3 backup quarterback in the league, but I don't see any team ever trusting him to be a starter again, unless, out of necessity, like the starting quarterback is hurt and Jameis has to start. So it's a great day, but we all know what comes with Slim saying Dennis better give Jameis a hug. But we all do know Jerry, so I'm gonna get to the comments real soon, guys. I wish I could have him on the screen, but again, this new stream platform that my friend gave me, for some reason, they do not want me to show my chat on the screen when I'm doing the live stream. I don't know why, but it is what it is. But anyways, all that to say, I think with Jameis, it's just very interesting that because he is going to stay here now, we all know what's going to happen, right? And that is his fans are going to go ape shit. Like anytime Derek Carr has a bad game, Jameis Winston fans are going to let us know about it, and there's going to be so much debate again about Jameis or Derek. Hopefully, Derek Carr plays pretty good consistently throughout the season, where like his highs stay high and his lows don't go rock bottom, that we don't have to worry about it. But you do know that the second that Derek Carr has like a 3 interception game, the Jameis Winston fanatics are going to go crazy, and it's going to be Jameis should be started. Why is Derek Carr starting when Jameis is a way better quarterback? So now, me personally, I like that type of shit. To be honest, as a content creator now, I love that type of shit. Like that's the type of engagement and fuckery that I enjoy as a content creator. For a lot of you guys, you're probably going to be rolling your eyes. You're probably going to be like, "Oh my God, Jameis Winston stands, shut the hell up!" Like, get over it. Like Derek Carr's our guy. Just accept it. But yeah, there's definitely going to be a lot of Derek Carr versus Jameis Winston debates moving forward, unless again Derek Carr just has like the season of a lifetime where he doesn't even give Jameis Winston's stance a chance to talk about, oh, Jameis Winston should be started. I'm going to give the over under though on when Jameis Winston's stance are going to start complaining about Jameis should be started by the third quarter of week 1. Like Derek Carr's going to fumble or something, and Jameis Winston's fans are going to come out and say, Jameis wouldn't have done that. Jameis would have got the ball out to Chris Olave for a touchdown on that play. So that's going to be fun. If subjective, right? The word fun is subjective to whoever likes that type of stuff. As a content creator, I like it. I do know Saints fans are probably going to be annoyed as hell with the Jameis Winston stance, but I am very, very excited, as I know a lot of you guys are, that Jameis is here as a backup. I mean, that's kind of like to the rich go the spoils, right? Like, we to have Jameis Winston as our backup, not even as our star, but as our backup, a quarterback who is definitely one of the better backups in the league. That is a good get for the Saints. So good work by Mickey Loomis and Dennis Allen to make that happen. Again, I do hope that Jameis gets a chance again, but I do not see that realistically happening unless a quarterback gets injured. And I hope, knock on wood, this doesn't happen, but maybe Derek Carr goes down for a game or two. Hopefully not, because we've had some bad quarterback luck these past 3 years since Drew Brees has retired. Actually, we have bad quarterback luck in Drew Brees' final years too. But hopefully he doesn't get hurt. But if Derek Carr gets hurt, maybe Jameis Winston comes in, plays amazing, and then it opens the door for him to be a starter in 2024 for another franchise. So we will see about that. And my final observation of the first day of free agency, and that is, I'm sure you guys saw this news as well because it was more of a celebration than a mourning, but Marcus Davenport is going to the Minnesota Vikings on a 1-year contract for $13 million. Congratulations to Marcus Davenport. Wow. $13 million for a 1-sack season that he had last year. That is, boy, potential rarely gets you paid in the NFL. Potential rarely gets you paid in the NFL. I think it's because Marcus Davenport always had his career games against the Vikings. So the Vikings are like the only Marcus Davenport that the Vikings know is the great Marcus Davenport, right? Like those games where Marcus Davenport actually looked like he was worth giving up 2 first-round picks for. But we all know that there is a Marcus Davenport that exists outside of playing the Minnesota Vikings. And that was the Marcus Davenport that just made us bang our heads against the wall. 1 week, he looks like the most disruptive defensive player in the league. The next week, he's a freaking he's a ghost. Like, where are you, dude? Like, and to go into a contract year this year, and the dude only had 1 sack. I was like, I'm over it. I'm over Marcus Davenport experiment. And that pick might go down as one of the worst 5 picks of Saints history. Not because he's that much of a bust. I don't even think he's a bust. He had all things considered, when he calls it a career, you can at least say it was a solid career. So because you had a solid career, that automatically, in my opinion, rejects you or disqualifies you from being called a bust. But because of the circumstances around it, like we could have had Lamar Jackson in that draft. We could have took Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson was right there for the taking. A lot of draft pundits was actually saying we were going to take Lamar Jackson, especially when we actually traded up. Everybody was like, oh, this is Sean Payne finally having his quarterback for the future. He's going to take Lamar Jackson. Sean Payne obviously wound up taking Marcus Davenport, and the rest is history. For all of the water that I carry for Sean Payne, and I'm one of his biggest stands, my God, that he makes some some questionable draft decisions sometimes. Like, the 2017 draft class was legendary, and because of that draft class, I will forever love Jeff Ireland, Mickey Loomis, and Sean Payne. But man, did he do some stupid draft choices after that, like taking Marcus Davenport in 2018 over Lamar Jackson. And of course, his last pick as a Saints head coach for the first round, he took Peyton Turner, who is also a ghost. But goddamn, at least Marcus Davenport showed flashes of being like a Pro Bowl type player. Peyton Turner hasn't showed us anything. And we are basically relying on Peyton Turner right now as our second defensive end because we have not much depth left, which goes to my point. I'm sure you guys may have seen in the chat. Someone mentioned it that Cam Jordan responded to me today because I made a pretty shitty but funny meme. When I say shitty, I mean shitty as in the quality. I rushed out that meme. But Cam Jordan responded to a tweet of mine where, I don't know if you guys ever watched The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, but the last episode when Will Smith was in the house all alone, and that has become a meme in the Twitter universe because it's usually like whenever you're trying to make a joke about somebody being the only person in, the whatever the situation means. So I made the joke. I took Will Smith out the picture and I put Cam Jordan in a very, very bad Photoshop of Cam Jordan being alone in the living room. And I said, this is how Cam Jordan is in the defensive line room right now because we lost all of our defensive linemen today. We still have some left. And that was Cam Jordan's point. Cam Jordan responded to that tweet saying, nah, don't worry. We still got Peyton Turner. We still got Carl Granderson, and we still got Tano. Which, okay, that doesn't excite me personally, but it shows two things. One, Cam Jordan is the most amazing teammate of all time, that he's going to hype up whoever is his teammates. But two, I was like, damn, yeah, that means Peyton Turner is like the number 2 guy now on our D-line. So he's got to step up, man. He has got to step up. Like, come on now, Cam Jordan is – how old is Cam Jordan? Let me Google it right quick. Cam Jordan is 33 years old. We should not be relying on Cam Jordan at 33 years old to be our best defensive lineman. We should have somebody ready right now to take the mantle and be the new guy so Cam Jordan can – he can still be an effective player, but he's not getting the double teams and whatnot at this age. So I do not know what we're going to do. I imagine, in my opinion, we got to go with a defensive lineman in the first round, right? It's probably got to be a defensive tackle because right now our defensive tackle depth is horrible. But we got to go with somebody. I mean, it's got to be a defensive line. We got to build up our defensive lineman ASAP. We probably are going to wait till this first day and second day of free agency, kind of let these teams overpay for the big names, and then maybe we'll start going to the bargain bin and seeing like what quality free agent we can bring in on a cheap contract. But we got to build out the D-line because if we are going to go into 2023 relying on Cam Jordan to be our best defensive playmaker on the defensive line, then we are in trouble because no fault of his own, but the dude is 33 years old. He has only missed like 2 games in his NFL career. He is the greatest, in my opinion, Saints defensive lineman of all time. I'm biased. I was not alive. I was alive, but I wasn't old enough to watch like the real days of the Dome Patrol and all that. But I do thank Cam Jordan because of his longevity, because of his durability, because I just like the guy. I think he's probably the greatest Saints defensive lineman of all time. But we count on him at this age to be the best player. It just would be franchise malpractice. We need to get a guy, and it doesn't have to be a guy as a big name, but like somebody that we truly believe can be the number 1 guy on the defensive line, whether that is going to be a defensive tackle or a defensive end. I would love for it to be Peyton Turner. The boy Deshaun Payne put us in the hole by taking that guy with the number 1 pick because, again, Peyton Turner hasn't shown anything. I'll give Marcus Davenport credit. Marcus Davenport showed flashes. He showed us some games where you were like, God damn, this dude Marcus Davenport really is going to be a monster. Peyton Turner hasn't shown us shit. I mean, come on now. This is your third year. You're a number 1 pick, dude. Step up. This dude gets hurt, and then he's out for like 8 games for like injuries that's like really dude like Cam Jordan be having his arm damn near detached from his body, and he still stays in the game. Freaking Peyton Turner hurts his dumb, and then he's out for 9 weeks. Like, come on, dude. Are you trying to play football or what? Thanks a lot, Sean Payne, for leaving us with that last pick in your franchise tenure as a head coach. So, yes, those are my thoughts on free agency day 1. Again, the Falcons suck. The Panthers suck. It's funny how these NFC South teams fans always make fun of us, yet whenever our players become free agents, their teams are in a rush to grab our free agents. Marcus Davenport, good luck in Minnesota, but not too much luck because screw the Vikings fans too. And for all those salary cap nerds who cannot understand or process how the Saints handle the salary cap, get the hell over it and stop being mad at our franchise for trying to win games. Like, I still do not like, again, the biggest thing about these cap and draft nerds is that they are always advocating for teams who aren't like legitimate Super Bowl contenders to tank, to lose games. And it's one of those things that when you look at it in the vacuum, you're like, wow, like teams like the Texans or whatnot sometimes get applauded for like tanking and losing games instead of teams that are actually trying to actively win games. I don't know how long I have on this earth, you guys. I hope I have another 70 years left on this earth. But every year on this earth, I would like for my team to try to win games. Like I'm paying my team a lot of money. I want them to try to win games. If I'm going to rock these colors, if I'm going to go buy these tickets, if I'm going to go sit in the Superdome stands, I want my team to try to win. So miss me with that bullshit about these teams should be tanking. And again, I get it like when it's really, really, like if you got a guaranteed, who the number one quarterback is that can be the future, like a Joe Burrow type. Hell, maybe even Caleb Williams this year. I get it. Yeah, sure. If you feel like that's your path to success, I wouldn't mind one tanking year out of, the blue moon. But these analysts, man, they're making it seem like certain teams need to be losing every year to build up to be a great team. And it's like, okay, if that's how they want to do it, then let them do it. But don't get mad at the teams like the Saints who are trying to win games every year. Like, goddamn, that's the name of the game, is to win games. Mickey Loomis ain't worrying about no goddamn 2028. Mickey Loomis don't even know if he's going to still be the GM in 2028. He's trying to win now. What the quote is, I'm here for a good time, not a long time. Ain't nobody trying to waste their time on tanking years and losing games. Now, again, a valid argument can be made. Is Dennis Allen the guy that you want to give that key to try to build a winning team? I don't think so. But Mickey Loomis has made his choice, and I have I have to accept it. We all have to accept it. But I am not mad at Mickey Loomis, and nor would I ever be mad at Mickey Loomis for wanting to win games. I may not agree with the way he goes about it. I may not agree with the people he employed to lead us to it. But I am not going to be mad at Mickey Loomis for trying to win football games. And shame on Nick Wright and all these other media pundits who get mad at Mickey Loomis for trying to win football games. Like, what the hell? What are we even talking about, y'all? What are we even talking about? So that just makes no damn sense to me. That's why I always make fun of it in my skits. It's like, you guys are stupid, I'm not saying, again, that Dennis Allen is the guy who's going to lead us to the promised land or anything like that. But I am not going to be mad at Mickey Loomis for trying to win. It just goes again to my point that Dennis Allen better come with it this year. Dennis Allen better come with it this year because all the pressure now is in his hand. Like, if we Saints fans are going to go at Nick Wright, if we Saints fans are going to go at any, draft or media or national pundit talking about the Saints salary cap, because, of course, we're Saints fans. We're going to go defend our team. Dennis Allen better not let us down. You have no excuse anymore, Dennis. Again, I told you on my last live stream when we signed Derek Carr. The only excuse I will give Dennis Allen this year is if Derek Carr gets hurt. That's the only excuse I'll say. Well, goddamn, Dennis Allen, you just can't catch a break. But that's it. Like, if Derek Carr plays all 17 games, then I don't want to hear shit about what else went wrong for the Saints if we don't make the playoffs. Dennis Allen, your career as a head coach, in my opinion, is on the line this year. Mickey Loomis has given you everything that you asked for. You kept saying, I need a franchise quarterback. He tried to get you Deshaun Watson last year. It didn't work out. You had to, quote unquote, settle for Jameis Winston. You obviously didn't want Jameis Winston because the second that Jameis Winston became free to bench, you benched him for Andy Dalton. He gave you Derek Carr. So I don't want to hear no more BS excuses from Dennis Allen about what went wrong, what injuries, and yada, yada. Nah, dude. Very rarely does a head coach get 5 chances. 5 chances with nothing to show for it. Dennis Allen, you are on the hot seat. You better win this goddamn division. Because if you go on Saints Twitter right now, a lot of fans are defending the team. And, we do that thing every offseason. No matter how much we get mad at the team during the season, we're going to ride or die for our team in the offseason. At any NFC South fan, at any national media pundit who comes in attacking us. But, Dennis Allen, you have to reward our loyalty. You have to reward our passion. Because I promise you, and I keep saying this, if you prove me wrong, my apology will be as loud as disrespect. And I have, quote unquote, disrespected Dennis Allen a lot the past season because I was calling for his firing after like the 9th week of the season. We kept him, whatever. It is what it is. I'm going to accept it, and I'm rooting for him. I have no choice. I have to root for Dennis Allen. We all have to root for Dennis Allen. I hope Dennis Allen has one of the greatest comeback stories of all time. And we're like, God damn, we were stupid for wanting to fire Dennis Allen. This man wound up being one of the best coaches in Saints history. But he's got to prove it. You are what your resume is right now. And that's how we can go by. He has a winning percentage of .283, which is kind of funny. But he has a winning percentage of .283. So give me a reason, Dennis Allen, to believe in you. Give me a reason to be a stan of yours. Give me a reason to defend your honor. Right now, the only reason I'm defending you is because you're wearing black and gold. So that's my thoughts, guys. Let me get to some of these comments. I wish I could have the chat on the screen, but of course, oh, there we go. Finally, they're showing the chat. There we go. About time we fixed it. All right, guys, there we go. You see, so now you add some chat to it, it'll actually come on the screen. Good. Now we can have a real good conversation. But I'm going to highlight some of the chats that I got while I was rambling. So here we go. Tota Glock Boy says this draft will be offensive lineman heavy for us. I am never opposed to drafting offensive linemen because you just, offensive. I have a philosophy. If I was a GM, I'm building my team on the lines first. I'm building my defensive line and my offensive line. So I know that it's not a sexy pick whenever we draft the offensive lineman in the draft, but it is a necessary pick in my opinion. So if we do draft the offensive lineman, I will not be mad. But I do think right now our immediate concern right now is more defensive line than offensive line. Let's see. Jeremiah says, I thought the Panthers signed Von Miller for a second. No, I think Von Miller is still under contract with the Bills. I don't think he's even a free agent. So, no, he is not, thankfully, going to the Carolina Panthers. St. John says that John Barnes and Cam Jordan are tight. I mean, Cam Jones, when we tweeted your video, John, I think you and Cam are more tight than me and Cam. Jerry says he sees me on Twitch. I do have a Twitch, guys, but I rarely really use it. I probably should start, simulcasting my YouTube streams with my Twitch streams. But yeah, if you're on Twitch, I am on Twitch at John Barnes. Basically, any social media platform you can think of: TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Twitch, YouTube. It's all at John Barnes. Feel free to follow me on all of those platforms. Let's get to some more comments. Hoodie Jube, Hoodie, I think that you are about to go live soon. So again, my live stream is not going to be long. When I get off, guys, please feel free to go on Hoodie Jupe's stream because he is probably going to be on until the late night hours talking Saints football because that is a passionate Saints fan right there. Let me get to some more comments. Yes, BTD says that the only L today was losing Ellis. Yeah. I would not have paid the money to David Onyemata that the Falcons paid. I do like Shai Turo. I would have liked to kept him for depth, but I'm also not the type, the game is the game. You can't pay everybody, right? And, certain teams, bad teams that have money because they're bad can afford to pay, players that you quite can't pay because, our money is going to the Marshawn Lattimore's and the Demario Davises and the Derek Carrs, while the Falcons, who are the Falcons' top players? So, of course, the Falcons have a little bit more wiggle room to spend money on, David Onyemata. That's how it is when you're a bad team. But I do agree that the biggest loss of today was Kaden Ellis. I would have loved to keep him. I understand why he was not a priority for the Saints, and that's because we have Demario Davis and Pete Werner. Pete Werner is obviously the linebacker of the future for the team. Demario probably has another year or two left of good play before, maybe he starts to kind of fall off a little bit. So I do think we need some more depth at the linebacker position, absolutely. But when you have already the two guys set in stone at starters at Demario Davis and Pete Werner, you can't really have the luxury to afford to pay somebody like Kaden Ellis when you still got to pay, your other top premier cornerback players like Lattimore, Kamara's due for a contract restructure, I think, very soon. You gotta prioritize. And Ellis might be a guy that we look back on maybe in a year or two and be like, damn, that's one of the ones we should have kept. But the game is the game. You can't keep everybody. But that has nothing to do with salary cap hell, national media. That has nothing to do with salary cap hell. It has everything to do with the fact that NFL players are not allowed to keep every player. That is why the NFL encourages parity. You can't keep every player. The Bengals lost their two starting safeties today. The Bengals have lost their two starting safeties, and the Bengals aren't even in salary cap hell like we are. But why did the Bengals lose their salary? Why did the Bengals lose their two starting safeties? Because you can't keep every player. So why does the national media get a hard on when we lose a few players? Like, yeah, duh, we lost a few players. So did every other team in the NFL today. That's what happens when you're a good team. You lose good players. I don't know if the national media understands how that works. My dude Ryan says, John, we put in all these years, putting in work to develop Ellis just to let him go to our biggest rival as soon as he breaks out. And again, Ryan, like I said, bro, the game is the game. Like, it sucks. It's unfortunate, but that's just how the game goes. When you have so many top tier players, like, we got Marshawn Lattimore, who in my opinion is a top 3 cornerback. You have Alvin Kamara, when I know last year didn't really look like it, but when he's on, he's a top 10 running back. You got to get a good quarterback. And now we have one in Derek Carr. You got to allocate your money to those players. And then that makes players like Caden Ellis become expendable, and it sucks. And it really sucks when it goes to a division rival. But the game is the game. We've benefited from that some years, and we've faltered from that some years. The game is the game. Jeremiah says the first 3 picks of the 2023 draft for the Saints should definitely be on the line. I would not be mad at that. I would absolutely not be mad if our first three round picks, the first round, second round, and third pick, is dedicated to defensive and offensive line. Not at all. What up, Crush? I haven't heard from Crushing in a while. What up, Crushing? The discussion he put for Marcus Davenport. Actually, the production wasn't there. It was time to part ways. No need to be upset. I agree. I think a lot of Saints fans agree with that as well. I think we all wish Marcus Davenport the best, but because of what we had to give up to give him, he's always kind of going to be a bit of a sour spot for Saints fans because, and it wasn't Marcus Davenport's fault. If anybody blames Sean Payne put that pressure on him by trading up to draft him. And when a coach trades up to draft a player, suddenly that player now has a lot of pressure to be a superstar player because it's one thing to give up 1 first-round pick on a player, but to give up 2 first-round picks, you got to perform. And Marcus Davenport just was never quite at that level to have justified Sean Payne doing that. But I'm going to blame Sean Payne more on that than I'm going to blame Marcus Davenport. Marcus Davenport didn't tell Sean Payne to take up 2 first-round picks on me. That's all on Sean Payne. St. John says, we don't need a flash. Need the light to stay on for 17 games. I like that. I like that analogy. Absolutely. And I very much agree with it. Ryan also says, we are also relying on Warner to stay healthy and DeMario to not slow down with his age, which is a lot, honestly. Yes, it is, because we know that Pete Warner has not shown consistency in staying healthy. So it is a bit of a risk losing Ellis when you know that your best linebacker is getting up there in age and when your young linebacker has a bit of health issues. So, again, I do think that we probably should sign a linebacker for depth in free agency. Absolutely. I agree with you on that. He says, every one of our guys went to our NFC South rivals. Is that true, right? Like, we didn't even have one free agent who went to another team, I don't think. That's crazy. They take our staff and players. They want to drain our team and be like us so bad. Tell that to the fans, man. Tell that to those NFC South fans. Republicans are beyond stupid. I just wanted to say that name. Yes, Major Prime. I am also happy that Jameis is back. Ryan also says they're acting like we're rebuilding half our defense walk, but we're not rebuilding. What the fuck is Mickey Doomis? Well, again, Ryan, we can't afford to pay everybody. So, I don't think it's a thing about Mickey Loomis doing a bad job. I think it's just you got to pay who you got to pay. And we all wanted a good quarterback, right? And we got a good quarterback now. We got Derek Carr. So what is the sacrifice of signing someone like Derek Carr? Well, that means you got to give up a player like Shai Teller. You got to give up a player like David Onyemata. You got to give up a player like Caden Ellis. Would I trade all 3 of those players for Derek Carr? You're damn right I would. And I'm not even the biggest Derek Carr stan, but I do know a quarterback is much, much, much more valuable than 3 backup. Not backup. 2 backup defensive linemen and 1 defensive tackle who honestly didn't have that great of a season last year. Now, again, I would love to keep everybody, but decisions have to be made. This is what makes the NFL great. This is what makes the 2005 Saints go from 3-13 to 10-6 in 2006. It's because parity. It's because the NFL wants those bad teams to have a shot to grab players from good teams so that everybody can have a fair chance at the end of the day to rise up in the standings and become good teams, right? And the good teams know how to sustain those good teams, and the bad teams are always in a state of flux. But either way, good teams are going to lose good players. The Chiefs have lost a lot of good players since Patrick Mahomes got paid. They just have the luxury that Patrick Mahomes has got the goddamn best player in the league, that it doesn't matter who the Chiefs put in their positions, they're going to win games. The Saints are banking on, okay, we have our core talent, Cam Jones, Demario Davis, Marshawn Lattimore, Elvin Kamara, Ryan Ramczyk, now Derek Carr, Michael Thomas. We'll see. We have our core talent that, we don't mind losing, the meat of the sandwich, because we still know that we got the 2 bread loaves at the top to hold everything down. So we'll see. But I'm not mad at Mickey Loomis. I'm not mad at Mickey Loomis. Like, it happens. The game is the game. Free agency, this is how it works. You're going to lose players. You're going to gain players. It is what it is. Devin says we should go after Adam Thielen and Calais Campbell. Calais Campbell is pretty old. I don't know if we need Calais. I mean, if he comes cheap, sure. But I don't want to just sign players because of their name recognition. Like, we got to look at these names and see, like, what their production value is trending towards. Adam Thielen's past 2 seasons, while still good, well, obviously not the Adam Thielen that we're thinking of when we sign him. Like, if we sign Adam Thielen, everybody's, there's going to be that portion of fans that's going to think, oh, we're signing the 2006 2017 Adam Thielen. And the 2017 Adam Thielen ain't coming back. Like, he's on the downside. I mean, it's kind of like with Jarvis Landry, right? We all got mad excited when we signed Jarvis Landry. What Jarvis Landry did for us last year. Like, again, you can't get too excited when you sign a name. You got to look at the production value. Jarvis Landry's production was clearly starting to go down, but we didn't care because it was Jarvis Landry, right? Part of that was because he was a hometown kid, so we were very excited about that. But you can sign a big name, but that doesn't mean you're getting that player in his prime. So if we sign someone like Adam Thielen or Calais Campbell, it'll be cool, but it's not like we're getting them in their prime. We're getting them like in the downfall. I don't want to say downfall. That sounds like very mean, but we're getting them as their careers are kind of going. I don't know what the word to use. Downward. Fuck it. My dude Slim South says no more excuses for DA. Every team has injuries and they're still winning games. And again, we have the most important position solidified now in quarterback. Whether you are a Derek Carr fan or not, he is a good quarterback. I mean, I think at worst, even his biggest haters can say he's a good quarterback. Is he a great quarterback? Probably not. Can he be a great quarterback? He's shown flashes of it, and maybe coming down here and playing with Olave and Alvin Kamara and Juwan Johnson, who we did resign. I mean, that's a pretty good signing, guys. Juwan Johnson looks like he's on the come up of his career. We got him for a good deal, too. Maybe Derek Carr does play great for us. Same way Drew Brees wasn't great in San Diego. When he came to us, he became one of the greatest of all times. You know, I mean, I know that's a very, how often does that happen? I know, but you'd be surprised at all the Drew Brees and Derek Carr comparisons that was on Saints Twitter and Saints websites and forums this week because one, Derek Carr has 4 kids, just like Drew Brees has 4 kids, and he has 3 boys and 1 girl, and Derek Carr has 3 boys and 1 girl, and Drew Brees and Derek Carr both come from the AFC West to the Saints, and everybody's just trying to find any correlation between Drew Brees and Derek Carr, and that's because we love Drew Brees so much that it's always like whoever the quarterback is, we're going to make them live in Drew Brees' shadow, which isn't fair, but the game is the game. What else we got? Let me get to some of the comments. I see my dude Ziggy just came in. Ziggy, if you want to join, I'll send you the link to help me out. But I did get the chat working, Ziggy. So everybody show my dude Ziggy some love. He's the guy who gives me this platform on this streaming platform to have this podcast, if you want to call it that. So I do appreciate my dog Ziggy. Good old Honey Badger has joined the chat, and as always, he is going to talk trash, which makes no sense because his name is Honey Badger, and the Honey Badger is currently a member of the New Orleans Saints, but he's putting in digs, sideline, touchdown. We all know that means the Minnesota Miracle. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure Minnesota loves that player because what did they do the week after? Oh, yeah, they got the ass bust by the Philadelphia Eagles and still have 0 Super Bowls to show for it. But they always have the Minnesota Miracle, right? Good for Minnesota. And I hope they enjoy Marcus Davenport's 4 or 5 sacks this year. I really hope that. Devin says Carr to Johnson would be nice. I'm assuming he's talking about Juwan. Carr to Johnson could be nice. Yes, Carr and Juwan. I still think we should probably sign another tight end, though, guys, or draft one. I mean, I guess maybe we can go into the season giving what's his name? I'm having a brain fart. Forgive me. The guy we drafted, Troutman. We can give Troutman one last chance to try to make a name for himself, but I would be a little bit more feel better about the tight end position if we sign somebody to help out Juwan Johnson. Ziggy says this shit more than a stream. You're damn right. Ziggy's trying to be PG-13. We ain't no PG-13 on the John Bones channel, Ziggy. This shit is more than a stream. We get some more comments. Clarence says we just need the defense tackle and defensive ends to get younger, to sign them and get younger. I agree, but we also got to sign ones who make an impact. So no pressure, Saints, but we do have a first-round pick thanks to Sean Payton, so we better hopefully find somebody with that number. I think it's at the 29th pick, which isn't the greatest first-round pick in the world, but hopefully we can find a defensive tackle or defensive end who can really, be a disruptor on the field. Don't trip, guys. I'm still here. My phone, my camera battery went out, so I'm now back on my MacBook. I always have a plan B. I've learned a lot in this podcast game the past year and a half. I always have a plan B. So Mikey makes a cool mention that has been mentioned many times that Saints fans love, and that is that Derek Carr was born on March 28, which is 328. So, I mean, to me, that is definitely a sign that Derek Carr is the guy for the job, right? I mean, that's like destiny. That's like the Falcons can sign every Saint backup player they want. It doesn't matter if our quarterback's birthday is on 3/28, well, then I have faith that Derek Carr's going to put the freaking beats down on whatever Falcons defensive player is out there. Yes, Jeremiah, I've heard a lot about, I think it's Darnell Washington from Georgia. And if he is available at the number 28 or 29 pick, I know that defensive tackle is our biggest issue, but it's going to be really hard to pass on Darnell Washington from Georgia, especially because I read up, and I'm not acting like I'm a draft expert at all, but I read that Darnell Washington is one of the draft experts was like, you're getting a tight end / offensive lineman because he's a great blocker too. So to me, that's like a 2-for-1 play. If I could get a tight end who can be a heavy running blocker, especially when the Saints are going to try to be a heavy run team, I'm assuming. And also, the Saints are going to probably try to draft a running back. I would love to have a tight end who can also be a great offensive lineman type skill guy, which Juwan Johnson isn't quite there yet, but every year he grows into his role as a tight end, so maybe he'll get there. But if Darnell Washington is there in the late round of the draft, then absolutely, I wouldn't be mad if we took him over a defensive tackle. Thanks, Ziggy. I learned from the best, Ziggy. I learned from the best. It's not the greatest picture I have anymore, but my I did notice that my camera was flashing me a battery sign, which is weird. So whatever. We'll talk about that offline. Mikey says no one can touch him in the trash talking game. I agree, Mikey. That's why you made my best friend Sean be afraid to show his face in these live streams anymore. James says, I still think drafting our future QB is a priority. A young stud of today's QB type. Carr is okay, but Jimmy would have been better, cheaper option. Talking about Jimmy Garoppolo. Second round should go defensive tackle as well as free agency defensive tackle. I disagree because we put too much money into Derek Carr this year to use our first round pick on a quarterback who will not probably play until maybe, if we draft a quarterback this year, that quarterback still ain't going to be playing until like 2026, right? Like they didn't sign Derek Carr to all this money to have him sit on the bench. So now I'll say this, like if there is a quarterback that they really, really believe can be something special, then fine, but it would kind of be counterproductive to sign Derek Carr and then use a first-round pick on a quarterback of the future when that quarterback will not be ready to play or start for another 2 or 3 years. Like you signed Derek Carr because you're trying to win now. So you need to draft somebody who can come in and play day one, not a guy who you're trying to mold for 2026. It would just be counterproductive to what the Saints are trying to do. Again, if there's like Henderson Hooker and they really believe he's going to be a special quarterback one day, fine. I don't know if I would give up a first round pick for it. Like, I just don't. I get what you're saying. Don't get me wrong. Again, quarterback is the most valuable position. You do want to have a quarterback of the future. The problem is this, for your argument, the Saints believe that Derek Carr is the quarterback of the future. Like the Saints did not draft Derek Carr thinking that, he's only going to be here for a few. Like the Saints believe that Derek Carr can be the guy for a solid 5 to 6 to 7 years. Will he? We don't know. I hope he is. Again, if you're wearing black and gold, I'm rooting for you to be that guy. But the Saints did not sign Derek Carr with the expectation that, we're also going to just, put a lot of high resources into drafting a quarterback high to mold him. No, they believe that Derek Carr is that guy. There will be a day where the Saints maybe do draft a quarterback high and make him the future of the team, but it ain't today, and it ain't going to be this year. And I would be shocked if they draft a quarterback in the first round. I actually made a funny tweet. Excuse me, I got to charge my computer. I made a funny tweet. The Saints have not drafted a quarterback guy in the first round since Archie Manning. That's crazy, huh? We are the team with the oldest team to have never drafted a quarterback that late. Like our last first round quarterback pick in the first round was Archie Manning. I think that was like in 1974 or something. That's crazy. For as quarterback heavy of a league this is, for us to never have drafted a first round quarterback since Archie Manning, that is pretty amazing. Now, obviously, having Drew Brees for 15 years, we didn't need to draft a quarterback for the past decade, but it's just kind of funny. I mean, it ain't like we were a quarterback haven for quarterbacks before Drew Brees. So the fact that Archie Manning was our last first round quarterback selection, that's absolutely crazy. And I feel like it's setting us up for 2026. I guess we can draft Arch Manning. Wouldn't that be great if we drafted Arch Manning? That would be like, you can't script shit like that. Like that would be perfect to draft Arch Manning in 2026, and he's going to be, carrying on his grandfather's, not his grandfather. Is it his grandfather? I know it's Cooper Manning's. Yeah, his grandfather. His grandfather's legacy of I tell you what, if the Saints did get ever, I'm going completely off the rails. I know this isn't anything you were even talking about, but if the Saints ever drafted Arch Manning, that would be the highest selling Saints jersey in history. It would outsell Reggie Bush. It would outsell Tyrann Mathieu. It would outsell Drew Brees. An Arch Manning jersey with the Saints would be the highest selling jersey of all time if we ever drafted him. That's a 2026 problem, though. But I don't know. It's just one of those things I feel like it almost feels like it's destiny. Like we have not drafted a first-round quarterback since Archie Manning. And, what a surprise. Archie Manning's grandson is going to be available in 2026, which might be around the time where Mickey Newman's finally does decide to, rebuild and say, okay, let's have a bad year and get our stuff together so that we can, build for the future. So it might align perfectly. We shall see. Jeremiah Osmond. Hennessy Son Hooker. I like that nickname of his. James also say we keep in the cycle of getting these veteran quarterbacks that have been released elsewhere and don't work out. We keep kicking the can. Look at Lamar. Look at Josh Allen. Look at Kyler Murray. These are the teams that got their quarterback and are good. I think a lot of people will argue with you about Kyler Murray, but I get your point. We'll see. 615 random goat says Jimmy is also injury prone. Yeah, so let me go back to James when he's saying that we could have got Jimmy Garoppolo for cheaper. Yeah, but I feel like if we got Jimmy Garoppolo, fans would still be mad. Like I like Jimmy Garoppolo, but I don't think he's worth the money, even when he's cheap. And he's injury prone. So I think Derek Carr is a better quarterback than Jimmy Garoppolo, and I'm very much okay with the Saints' decision to go with Derek Carr over Jimmy Garoppolo. And to 615's point, he says Jimmy is also an injury-prone QB. Out of the 9 years he's been in this league, I think he's only played 2 full seasons. He could be wrong, though. I don't know. I'm just tired of injury-prone players completely. I mean, goddamn, I have to watch my Pelicans every freaking other day on the NBA, and our 2-star players are always hurt. I'm just tired of injury-prone players, so miss me with the injury-prone. I know Derek Carr has only missed like 2 games throughout his career to injury. And, I mean, we're really going to test the injury guys with Derek Carr now because we've run into so much bad injury like as New Orleans sports has the past 3, 4, 5 years that we got this guy who is obviously an Iron Man at quarterback, and we're really going to test to see if New Orleans is just bad luck with injuries or what, because Derek Carr has not missed many games at quarterback due to injury, and now he's going to a city where it seems like the injury bug has just been rampant the past few years. So we shall see. I hope they're still in the chat. All right, so my family's they're making fun of me for doing a live stream. And one of my cousins, my dog Kevin, said this nigga is picking this. I'm not picking my nose. I got a mustache that's like really itchy, so I keep scratching it. I'm not picking my nose. I love my family because here's the thing about my family. Those are my brothers, man. They give me so much shit, but it helps me out because sometimes I get trolled on Twitter, right? Like when you put yourself out there as a content creator, you're gonna get a lot of people who don't like your shit or just don't plain like you. It is what it is. I've seen people like write mean tweets about me that I'm not funny, yada yada yada. I'm lame. He's stupid. He doesn't know what he's talking about. The game is the game. It comes with whenever you put yourself out there in public like that. But I always tell myself if I can handle my family like talking shit about me, and they do it, it's all in love. Like you know how family members are. My bros they support me. They just like to give me a hard time. But if I can handle my brothers, talking shit about me, then ain't nothing an online stranger can tell me that's going to ever hurt my feelings. I get my skin gets thick just dealing with my family every day. So if my family is still on, because they're chatting about me in the group chat right now, I am not picking my nose, guys. I'm just itchy because I need a haircut. I don't know if y'all see this. That's why I got the goddamn hat on. I need a haircut. So my hair's all over the place right now. I promise you guys I'll get a haircut soon. All right, but I don't think you guys come to the John Barnes channel for vanity. You guys come for hard-hitting analysis, right? You come for the skits. I'm not digging my nose, though, guys. I'm like, it's itchy. So, yeah, guys, that was basically the gist of my the live stream. I just wanted to talk about the Saints free agency right quick. Again, the Falcons suck. The Panthers suck. Don't let the Falcons and Panthers fans tell you guys that the Saints ain't shit because whenever one of our players become free agents, their teams always will be in a rush to sign our players. So tell them to kiss our ass. Those teams are dying to be the New Orleans Saints Jr. And again, the Saints are having a pretty solid offseason in my opinion, so far, because just one, we got a quarterback that we can actually hopefully depend on now. I think Derek Carr is a good quarterback. and we haven't like lost any player that I feel like it's going to be detrimental to the success of the season. I do think that there's a lot of players that we have to replace as far as depth wise, but I'm not necessarily worried. I still think the Saints are the favorites in the NFC South, but I do not think that we can just act like we are going to be Teflon. You know, like the Falcons and the Panthers and even the Bucks can easily take our mantle, especially when we have, in my opinion, probably the worst head coach of all 4 NFC South coaches in Dennis Allen. I hope that Dennis Allen proves me wrong, but he has to show me before I start believing that he is that guy. I see that as a Falcons fan in the chat, so I appreciate it. I see that you guys are giving Dennis, the Falcons fan, a lot of smack. Honey Badger says the Saints defense is built like Swiss cheese, whatever. James again says that this is why Jimmy was the perfect bridge quarterback. We could have got him for cheap because of injuries. He's proven on offense, wins playoff games, championship games, and if he gets hurt, put in a rookie Jimmy on headset. I think the ceiling with Derek Carr is higher than what the ceiling would be with Jimmy Garoppolo. That I'm okay with giving Derek Carr a few more $1 million to give him a test drive at being our franchise quarterback than just trying to settle for Jimmy Garoppolo. So I do think that if Derek Carr would have chose the Jets over us, that Jimmy Garoppolo would have been plan B. But I would have been, I don't know. I'm a Saints fan. I can talk myself into any player, right? But I think Derek Carr is definitely the guy I would have chosen at quarterback over Jimmy Garoppolo. I get what you're saying. You want somebody cheaper, but like it ain't our money. It ain't our money. It's Gail Benson's money. So if she wants to spend an extra $10 million for Derek Carr over Jimmy Garoppolo, who am I to get mad about it? I just want Derek Carr to win some games, all right? And another thing, now that Jameis Winston is back, Derek Carr, Jameis Winston, and Demario Davis is going to have the greatest pregame huddle of all time, because those three are like, deacons. They're like preachers. So it's going to be a Sunday sermon in the Superdome with Derek Carr, Jameis Winston, and Demario Davis. So I'm looking forward to that. Again, the good thing about the Saints is that they are a content creator's dream. We got some good players on this team that's going to make my content a lot of fun this year, guys. I'm obviously going to continue to do the skits and all that good stuff. It's going to be a fun season. It's going to be a fun season. It's going to continue to be a fun off season. I mean, this is just day one of free agency. We got a lot more to go. So I am really looking forward to what the Saints continue to do. And I promise no matter what happens, we're going to have a good time discussing our 2023 New Orleans Saints. But the main thing we should all continue to do is continue to get on any and every media pundit that talks trash about the Saints salary cap. Because come on now, like, why are they having such a hard on for the Saints? Why? I don't get it. And I promise you guys, I will be going at them on all my skits and all my content and on my Twitter. So check me out, twitter.com/JonoBarnes, Instagram.com/JonoBarnes. Every social media platform is /JonoBarnes. All right. Appreciate you guys for joining me tonight. I love to read your comments. I love that we are building this community together. It's always good to talk Saints football with you all. I'm going to get to these final comments. Mikey says the last time the Falcons rose up was when the dinosaurs were alive. Jeremiah says he loves me, and I love you too, Jeremiah. 615 says that the one time that they had a chance to rise up, they took a Falcons and they the greatest Super Bowl of all time besides 2009, right? When the Falcons blew a 25-point lead to the New England Patriots. James says, in my opinion, when the Panthers draft Yonder Stroud, they're going to really change it up for us. They just need free agency. Maybe they pick up Dylan and others whom we want to play with either quarterback. I don't think a veteran free agent is going to really care about playing with a rookie quarterback unless the money is really good. But again, I do think what Carolina is doing is pretty impressive right now. We'll see if it works out. I'm a fan, so I'm a Saints fan, so I'm going to have to be a hater and hope that it flops miserably. It's tough to be a hater sometimes, but the game is the game, right? Jerry, I appreciate you guys all for joining us. I believe my dog Hoodie Jube is about to go live in a little bit, so y'all can go continue to talk Saints football tonight with him. I'll join that live stream too, so we can continue to talk about all of the ongoings of free agency. And I will be trying to do these podcasts more consistently. I will be trying to have more guests on, including you guys. I'll open up the live stream. And I'll bring my family on sometimes too. I know y'all love my cousin Evan, who's a big Cowboys fan. and all my other cousins who come with their hot takes. They're the Nick Wrights of the family. And I'll really give you guys some good entertainment and fuckery. But I appreciate you guys joining me for my solo dolo shows as we talk Saints football. Be on the lookout for some skits coming these next few. Oh, he's coming Tuesday night. All right. My bad, Jerry. I thought I'd say he was coming tonight. So I guess I'm the only game in town. But just go on Twitter, guys. The Saints Twitter is always popping, and my tweets are always popping too. So again, check me out on all the social media platforms. Yes, the Buccaneers did sweep us. Congratulations. Y'all want a cookie? Check me out on all the social media platforms. And this shit more than a game. And y'all know what it is, right? As always, it's always what? Somebody got to say it in the chat for me to log out. It's still, well, we know this. We know it's the Falcons suck. But it's still, somebody got to finish the line for me. If y'all watch my videos, y'all know what the line is. I know it's the shit more than, there we go, Devin. Thank you, Devin. Devin, you get the prize of the day. It's still who that. There we go. I guess y'all was on the delay. Jeez. Yeah, I'm like, God damn, y'all must make me look stupid. Appreciate you guys. I love you all. We're going to do more podcasts coming up in the future. Definitely going to do one before the draft. I'm sure there's going to be a lot more free agency news coming out these next few days. I'm sure Aaron Rodgers is going to make his decision in the next day or two. And the Saints are probably going to eventually sign somebody, right? I mean, we got to sign somebody. So we're definitely going to have fun and do more live streams as the situation causes for it. But I appreciate you guys. And I will be doing, my skits, my videos and all that stuff throughout the next few weeks. So always come back on this channel, hit that like and subscribe button, hit the little bell notification whenever you want a notification about my YouTube content. I appreciate the hell out of all of you guys. It's still who that, and this shit more than the game. Wait, on camera. This shit more than the game.